The average life expectancy in the world in 2016, according to the World Health Organization, was 72 years. The average life expectancy of women is 74 years and 2 months, the men is 69 years and 8 months. Database Human Mortality, created by the University of California at Berkeley and the Institute for Demographic Research Max Planck, takes into account the statistics for 40 countries. The data on mortality in Sweden take into account the statistics from 1751, and in France in 1816. However, considering such information in many other countries, it is only in the second half of the 20th century. Chromosomes contain genes. It is important that the X chromosome is much broad and contain more genes that help humans to survive. In the Y chromosome, genes less. X chromosome carries a lot of vital genes, so the problem in the X chromosome men have much more dire consequences than for women who have a spare X chromosome. If you have a genetic mutation in the X chromosome and you are female, then you have an additional reserve. But if you are a man, then this reserve you have, says David James. The boys are 20–30% more likely to die during the later stages of pregnancy. Also, the boys are 14% more likely to be born prematurely. Boys, as a rule, larger and therefore more vulnerable to injuries during childbirth, adds Lorna Harris from the University of Exeter. The male hormone, testosterone, affects the development of bone and muscle tissue, makes a person bigger and stronger woman. This hormone is also responsible for other male characteristics, for example, for low voice and hairs on the body. Experts explain the relationship the fact that around the age elevated testosterone level pushes men to a variety of risky behaviors, fighting, motorcycle or car at high speed, the search of thrills. In addition, men are more prone to suicide. Several years ago, a scientist from South Korea, Han Usfar, analyzed the records of the imperial court of the Joseon dynasty, 19th century. He examined data concerning the 81 eunuchs, who were castrated even before he reached puberty. It turned out that the eunuchs lived about 70 years, while other men of the imperial court survived an average of only 50. 3 even of the eunuchs lived to 100 years. Although not all studies eunuchs showed equally clear results, it is known that the average man and animals are deprived of their testicles live longer than their counterparts. As it turned out, the female sex hormone, estrogen, plays the role of an antioxidant, which displays the body of harmful substances that have a negative impact on processes in the cells of the body. An experiment conducted on female animals showed that those who were not sterilized lived significantly longer than those females who have gone through this procedure. In the territories affected by war or armed conflicts, the average male life expectancy is dramatically reduced, since in the course of these events killed mostly men, also at a fairly young age. At the same time, the life expectancy for women is significantly lower in regions with poorly developed healthcare system, where many women die, for example, at the time of birth. There are regions in which the difference between the life expectancy of men and women is very large. This can partly be explained by the fact that men are more prone to smoking, overeating and use of alcohol and drugs. Stephen N. Osted and Kathleen Fisher of the University of Alabama in their study noted that women in Western countries often visit doctors, take more drugs, often miss work for health reasons. A study conducted at Imperial College London shows that in the UK the difference between life expectancy of men and women in 2030 will be only 1 year and 9 months. Another study, conducted by sociologist Leslie Mayhew from the business school named John Cass, predicts that the difference in life expectancy completely leveled already by 2032. Reducing tobacco and alcohol consumption have a positive impact mainly on the duration of life of men, which are much more likely to suffer from alcoholic and tobacco dependence. We have also made great strides in the fight against heart disease, which again affects mostly men, explains Leslie Mayhew.